Hello, everybody, and welcome to Big Rock Monday. I'm Chris Connolly with Focal Point Business and Executive Coaching, and Big Rock Monday is my gift to you. It's a series that's focused on the important actions you can take to make your week more productive. I've learned some amazing strategies and techniques from great coaches and leaders throughout my career, both in college playing sports as well as in business being a sales leader. And I want to bring some of those lessons to you. My only ask is that if you have something in Big Rock Monday that you're curious about or want to know more about or question, feel free to further the conversation with me, either here on Twitter and LinkedIn, or you can go to my website at positiveleadership.coach, and there's more information about how we can engage together. So let's get started. Our first topic for May is The Energy Bus by John Gordon. The Energy Bus was John's first best-selling book of many, and it's also the one that really set his path in motion as a fantastic motivational speaker, author, and business consultant. It's about a man named George who is struggling in both life and work. His marriage is in trouble, his work team is falling apart, they have a launch of a new product coming and they're really struggling. And his car breaks down. And so George finds himself having to take the public bus because his wife can't take him. And of course, he ends up on the Energy Bus where he meets Joy, the bus driver. And Joy teaches him the 10 rules for the ride of your life. And it really is more about how to take control of your life. So this week we'll cover 2 of the rules. And in the next 2 weeks after that, we'll cover 3 rules each week. And then the final week, 2 rules. That'll be all 10. And you'll have the formula for covering the ride of your life. So, rule number 1, you are the driver of your bus. Nobody else can drive this bus but you. Now, we're all on different buses throughout the day, other people's buses, but your bus is in your control. That's the one thing that makes the biggest difference between the rules that we'll talk about in the Energy Bus and a lot of other motivational discussions. A lot of them focus on what we would call Pollyanna type motivation, but these are real life examples. Just accepting the rule, you're the driver of your own bus, really changes you, right? So imagine if I asked you right now, please smile. You can't smile without changing your entire energy. And that acceptance of that energy change is something really critical. So I'm going to ask you to do 3 things in this rule number 1. To own your path on your own bus, you have to have a vision for your life, and that includes your health. And I'll just give you a quick story about something I went through. At the beginning of the pandemic, we were all starting to work from home, and we were coming up with new ways to be active when we couldn't go out and do things. And so I decided, as a former athlete who was tremendously out of shape, heaviest I've ever been in my life, I decided I was going to take control of my health. And doing so changed the rest of my life as well. I lost nearly 50 pounds. I was going out daily for walks and then eventually runs. I was spending time with my dog on those runs, which was a blast because he loved it. I was also taking my wife out every once in a while when she'd hop on the bicycle and ride along with me while I was exercising. And it wasn't just the exercising that allowed me to make the transformation in my weight and my health. It was also the way in which I was eating. I studied a little bit about changing the caloric density of the foods I ate. But all of that to say, my vision was a healthier Chris and a more productive Chris. And to do that, I had to do something about my health. So I drove my bus and made that change. You can do it too. But the very first vision we have to have is the vision for our life, which includes our health. The second vision is the vision for your career and your team. You have to have an idea of what you think you want to become before you can get down the road on becoming that, right? And then the third is a vision for family and relationships. And I'm reminded of the story that a great author once wrote about keeping the end in mind. It was Stephen Covey, and he basically said, imagine yourself at your own funeral. And there are going to be 4 speakers, someone from your church, someone from your family, someone from your work, and someone from your friendship circle. Write down exactly what all 4 of those people would say at your funeral. Well, guess what? What they write is your game plan for the rest of your life, right? Start with the end in mind. And so doing this, writing down your 3 vision areas, will help you be in control of your own bus. Now that brings us to rule number 2, which is desire, vision, and focus move your bus in the right direction. Because you can't really get going unless you have the energy to do so, and that is desire, vision, and focus. This really talks about the law of attraction. What we think about, we attract. And I'm sure you've probably sat at your home and talked about something off the wall, and all of a sudden Facebook shows you ads for that, right? Now that's a little bit different, but it's the same idea. What we think about, we attract. Well, guess what? Think about what you want instead of what you don't want. John uses a philosophy of talk to yourself instead of listen to yourself. We all have that voice inside our head that helps keep us grounded, but it also harms us sometimes because it says, I'm not really sure you can do that. I'm not really sure that's possible. Why did you react that way? But instead of listening to yourself, if you'll talk to yourself, you can actually program your mind to react the way you want to. Guess who does this the best? It's athletes. Professional athletes are constantly visualizing, even Olympic athletes, constantly visualizing. If you watch a bobsledder, they've got their eyes closed and they're going through every single turn and have the course memorized and know exactly which angle they want to take the turn at. You look at NASCAR or other road races, F1 drivers, constantly visualizing the track. And they'll visualize a track in different environments. I'm going into this turn now with 3 cars around me. Now I'm going into it on my own. It might be a little different line that you take. Visualization is so important to athletes and to professionals that it's something we can do as well, right? Visualize what that success looks like. Desire, vision, and focus will move your bus in the right direction. Every week we're going to have a call to action, and we have one this week. This one's a little longer than normal. It's four items long, and normally there'll be 1, 2, or 3 items. But this week I'm going to ask you to do these 4 things. First, write down your 3 visions. Life, career, family. Life, career, family. Write it down on a piece of paper. Put it in a notepad. However you take notes. Write down your vision. How do you want your life to end up from a health standpoint and from an accomplishment standpoint overall in your life? Then second, go to do the same thing with career. What do I want to become? How high do I want to go, etc. And then finally, same thing with your family and relationships. And that's really critical, right? I'm an empty nester now. My kids are grown and gone, and I've got my last 2 graduating from college here in the next week. And my vision for my family and relationships is based on how our relationship together works. And I'm super excited about the relationship I have with the kids, and my wife and I have with our kids. So that's a great one for you. Write down your 3 visions. Second, spend 10 minutes a day on your vision. Now, on your vision is pretty vague. Whether it's 10 minutes a day writing down ideas for that vision, or 10 minutes a day just thinking about it and absorbing it and owning it, whatever it is, for you, spend 10 minutes a day on your 3 visions. You can divide it out 3, 3, and 4, or however you want to, but 10 minutes a day, morning, noon, night, whenever's best, on those 3 visions. Third, start talking to yourself instead of listening to yourself. Start practicing a gratitude walk. Think about the things that you're happy for. A lot of us think, oh gosh, I have to go to work. No, you get to go to work. Where a lot of people would love to be working right now, but they're not. You get to go to work. You have a job. And so start talking to yourself in a different way so that you can build up your own internal image of yourself and you can accomplish more. And then finally, visualize what success looks like every single day. We talked about this with athletes, but think about what it'll look like once you accomplish and get to your career vision, once you get to your life vision and your health vision, what your life is going to be like with your family and relationships. I've spent a lot of time thinking about my relationship with my kids because, like any parent, it's had its ups and downs. And in the end, what I have with my kids right now is really what I visualized 20 years ago. But I took some experimentation to get it there. But we're there, right? And now I'm super excited for what's coming for their lives. And hopefully they can use this as well. So there's your 4 things. Write down your 3 visions, spend 10 minutes a day, completely focused on those visions. Talk to yourself instead of listen to yourself. And finally, visualize what success looks like every single morning. And of course, if you want to talk about it more, let's continue the conversation either on positiveleadership.coach or right here on LinkedIn or Twitter. Thanks for listening to Big Rock Monday. The future episodes will be shorter and they'll be bite-sized pieces. But for now, I hope you have a great week and rock on.